So let's say final home game this year.
Yes.
Fitz comes up to you and says, if we've got a goal line situation, you're getting the ball. Do you say, I want to run it? Or do you say, Daddy wants to catch it?
I say, here's the deal, Fitz. That's unacceptable. I want an 80-yard bomb. I'll run a post route. Let it freaking sail.
That was Joe Spivak, and this is On the Bench with Mike Hall. That's me. Joe Spivak is a defensive lineman for the Northwestern Wildcats. He's a great story, but an even better personality. The graduate senior is currently on scholarship, but he had to earn it, starting off at Northwestern as a walk-on. This past summer, Pat Fitzgerald honored Joe by giving him the #1 jersey. That special purple jersey is given to the ultimate Wildcat. It's the highest honor in the program and is decided by the players, going to the best representative of the team on and off the field. Joe has worked his tail off and made the best of it. Not unlike his father, who was an All-American at Illinois State, also a walk-on turned scholarship player. But it's not Joe's talent that stands out most, it's his goofiness. He is 300 pounds of joy, constantly smiling, full of high energy. No surprise, he's a theater minor in Evanston. He also is a fan of random pop culture stuff, so I wondered if that included a certain wildly popular TV commercial from this past spring. So I started our chat by asking him simply if he could finish this song lyric. Aw, French vanilla, Rocky Road.
Chocolate peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop, there it is. I absolutely live for those commercials. I literally remember going through the winter when they were still a little newer, and I'd have like a bad run, and me and my buddy Owen would look at each other and go, French vanilla, right? Just turn the day around. I love it. Let's go.
I had a buddy of mine is an actor and a comedian, and he was booked 2 and 3 years ago. He was the NCAA tournament guy. They like threw to AT&T's like fake broadcaster, and that was him. And so he does a bunch of commercials, and I was like, how do you explain how that commercial is universally loved? And he was like, it doesn't make sense. Any commercials that are funny stop being funny the third time you watch them. And that one is so joyful.
It doesn't get old. It hits. I was saying around the winter and spring, I think we're at a darn near golden age for some commercials. Between those and the unbecoming your parents ones, those I think are some of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. That, okay, now we're going to open up a PDF. Oh, no. I love those. Those two just do it for me every time.
All right. So I started off by asking you about food. So let me follow up on that.
For sure. For the record, everyone needs to know that my phone is set up on a collection of whey protein snack bars and some little Struce waffles. So food is a key topic here. We've already made that clear.
Right. And as we said beforehand, if your video lowers, it's just...
Yes, that's just me getting hungry. Y'all know how it is.
Understandable. What's the number of LBs right now?
What do you mean? Oh, pounds. Obviously. I mean, next to the linebacker room, I'm like, I don't know, 3. We play 4-3. Is that too much to say? LBs, I'm like right under 300, staying right there, about 298. But feeling good. I mean, everyone knows, every lineman knows how it is during camp. You just eating more and more to keep it on. But yeah, I've been holding right under 300 pounds, which I'm happy about. Want to play right around there.
What's an example of like the food you're supposed to gorge on versus the food you're not supposed to gorge on because of the weight you're trying to keep?
Absolutely. I mean, it's awesome. Like, I could show you, we literally directly outside my meeting room where, everyone who plays football knows, like, that's where you're at 90% of your day in camp. You're either on the field or in your meeting room. Directly out that door is a gigantic snack bar of great snacks, great high calorie, dense calorie foods that is like good, proper nutrition. So luckily, like, our nutritionists here make it pretty easy to do it the right way. That being said, as we get a little deeper into camp, maybe the occasional Chick-fil-A run to get a little extra calories, things like that. We did just get this new cinnamon bun place on campus that me and the D-line may not have hit up the other day. But once in a while, like I said, for the most part, we keep weight on the right way. But once in a while, it's a little easier to get those calories in a fun way, which even our nutrition people know that's good once in a while.
What's the highest number you ever got to?
Oh, gosh, man. Geez, I will say during quarantine, I was running hard and still moving well. but I was moving some weight. I was at like about 315 and feeling pretty good, feeling really good in the weight room too. And like I said, I know, Coach Hoot stays honest, Coach Spano stay honest, Coach Flan. Like I was still doing all my runs, making sure good, but at home for quarantine, a little more. Mom was home cooking. I got up there a little bit, and the bench got up there too. So it was all right, but I definitely feel better where I'm playing at now.
When did you first know you were big?
Yeah, geez. It's funny. It's funny because like I'll answer your question, but I'll follow up. I take a lot of pride on like being like, let's call it what it is, 5'11", 6 foot. I take a lot of pride in that. But as far as being like a big kid, I was always a bigger kid growing up. And I think, I don't know, I can remember vividly, Mike, this is funny. And like, it wasn't like a bad thing. And I remember like vividly, randomly like stepping on like my mom and dad's bathroom scale when I was in like, I don't know, like kindergarten or something. I was like 100 pounds. I was like, yeah, all right, cool. Triple digits. I don't know. My buddies don't really think I have that. But I remember that moment for some reason. But I will say I'm really, really thankful because I was always a bigger guy. I remember my first football league I played in when I was in like 4th grade. You know that you have like your stripers, right? And stripers can only play like O&D line or like linebacker, whatever it is. But then you have your double stripers, which can only specifically play guard or tackle on the offensive line. And I was like the only double striper. And I think maybe that's what hit me a little bit. But I will say what I was going to say, I'm extremely thankful. My dad, especially coming up I wrestled before I ever played football. And he always said, like, doesn't matter if you're a bigger guy, you need to take the shots that lighter guys take. You need to move and circle like lighter guys take. When you get to football, it doesn't matter if you're a bigger guy. I remember I looked up to, I was a big O-lineman growing up when I was younger because of the double striper rule. And I remember I saw on ESPN or something that Jake Long, who played for the Dolphins, obviously, and whatnot, would run when they do their conditioning with the linebackers. And that was like everything to me. I was like, that's who I want to be. I want to be a big guy that can move. So always knew I was a bigger guy, but always had a big focus on being able to move too.
By the way, just to be clear, 100 in kindergarten?
I'm not kidding. It was pretty early because like maybe like it was kindergarten, 1st grade range. And like I said, I was dogging dudes out on the mat. You better believe that. No one wanted a double leg from me on the wrestling mat. But yeah, it was definitely pretty early.
All right, last thing on food, whether it was in quarantine or at some point in college or Thanksgiving.
Sure.
Describe the biggest meal of your life.
Oh my God. I think maybe it's just fresh. Maybe it's just fresh in my mind because we were just talking about wrestling. But I remember after like either like a freshman year wrestling practice or something like that, I came home and we had this killer authentic Mexican food place right like a mile down the street from my house. And it was just a ridiculous wrestling practice. Like, I don't know, 4 hours, something crazy like that with hours of conditioning after. And I just remember getting literally probably that was unbelievable steak labriado, which is basically just like this steak plate with cheese and peppers, getting like 2 of those, some tacos and a burrito. And I don't even know exactly the order, but I just remember sitting on the couch and having so much regret after because it was so painful. It was either that or my buddy, me and Blake Gallagher, obviously from last year, stud of a linebacker, one of my best friends in the world. Me and him, okay, I'm sorry. I'm rolling now, Mike. I'm so sorry. A bunch of things are popping in my head. But me and Blake one time, absolutely, we'd keep each other on because we were roommates on our diets for the most part. And one day, and then usually like, I don't know, once every 2 weeks on a Saturday night, we'd go hard. And we'd been really good for a couple weeks. And then one Saturday night, we were like, I don't know if we want to do Cane's or our favorite pizza place. And we were like, hell, well, let's just do both. So we both put down like a large pizza and a Caniac combo, which was pretty ridiculous. But yeah. Those are a couple of top ones.
I like that you phrase it something like the taste of regret. That is a post-meal flavor I feel like most of us had during quarantine. Oh, what is that flavor? That's regret. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
You famously got the Northwestern #1 jersey this year. What if you didn't want it? What if you're like, guys, 93 is working great for me. Thank you, but no thank you.
Sure. I mean, I don't think myself or anyone who ever has gotten the honor, it's too big of an honor to say that too. I had a great run with 93. I had a great run with 62 back in the day. But the fact that this was an honor that came from my teammates, an honor that came after guys like Jesse Brown, Joe Bergen, Chad Hanaoka, and Tyler Lancaster. I couldn't let them down. I couldn't let my teammates down. I know what you're saying, but at the same time, it's just like, it is just such a blessing. I don't think anyone would ever consider that.
Well, also, one is slimming.
Those vertical lines, vertical patterns, they absolutely. Put it on in the black uniform, I'm like lethal.
You started off your career as a walk-on. How long were you a walk-on before you were on scholarship?
Absolutely. I got put on scholarship after my sophomore season. It was right after we got back from the Holiday Bowl. Played a lot more that year. We started on special teams and whatnot, getting more reps at D-line. And then it was over winter break. And got a text from Fitz.
I was going to say, explain how you found out.
No, I mean, coach was very casual about it. It was funny. He was like, shot me a text. He's like, congrats, buddy, you earned it. And I'm sitting there, it's like one of the few weeks we have off during the year. I'm sitting there watching a movie with my parents, and I get that text. I'm like, oh, I wonder what he's talking about. And then at the same time, I get an email from like our compliance or whoever, who handles the tenders and the fares and whatnot. And I'm like, is this what I think it is? And my mom's like reading it, my dad's reading it. And then we look at the text from Fitz and we just start crying, just bawling. And we're like, it was what we thought it was. And, Coach Fitz obviously kept that low key so that we could have that moment there. It was pretty cool that I got to experience it with my parents. And it was one I'll never forget.
I think you told us in the past that once you were on scholarship, so once you're on scholarship, you get a stipend check, and that your first check, you tell the story.
I mean, you better believe it. Right there, baby. Right there. No, I always knew. So I love tattoos. Got a decent amount. Want to get more, but one of the tattoos I always saw growing up was my Uncle Mac. Uncle Mac, who my dad and Uncle Mac played together in college at Illinois State. Go Redbirds. And Mac was brought in my life because of football. He is family directly bred from football. That's how, him and his daughters are so crucial in my life and always have been. I always saw he had a big American eagle tattooed right on the same spot in his calf. And I just growing up, I thought it was so cool and so hardcore. And that's why, like, the location, I always knew I wanted to be there for Uncle Mac. And also because it's not just, I knew I wanted to get, that was kind of a landmark to earn the scholarship and then get that. But more than anything, that N represents the brotherhood that, my dad and Uncle Mac have. And now I have my own Uncle Macs, people that are truly, truly family because of this game. And little added bonus, all three of my sisters also have their schools. The college experience in college and college athletics is just so special. Always been so special in the Spivak house.
So the first stipend check went right to an NCAT tattoo on the
right. Absolutely. And I'll give credit. My mom and dad were cool with it. They were fired up about it too. They knew that's where it was going. They're like, hey, buddy, this one's yours. Go for it.
How many tattoos do you have?
I got that on my calf, and I got a pretty big piece on my thigh. And then I've just kind of like spotted up my arm. I don't know the exact amount, but just kind of trying to fill in. I got a little space right here. I think a little Mike Hall face might look real good right there. A Big Ten logo. I don't know if it's put out job offers, but something like that. We'll see though.
Hey, the next stipend check right there.
Hey, I'll take it.
What was the first tattoo?
First tattoo was the one on my chest. It says Ace, which the biggest thing my dad always taught me and my sisters growing up was you get an ace playing cards, Mike. Ace is a good thing. In the World Wars, an ace fighter pilot was the best, but no one knows why. And Ace stands for attitude, character, and enthusiasm. So that was huge, huge, huge in the Spivak household. Attitude, character, and enthusiasm. Three things you can control every day. My three sisters also have it. So that was one I had to get right away. I got that like sometime in freshman year.
Are you sure you have the enthusiasm though?
I don't think so. I mean, if you met my sisters and my parents, I'm definitely just trying to keep up with them. They're some firecrackers, man.
All right. Now, understanding that you're genuinely strong and you're a football player and you've got a mental toughness and you're talking to a guy who wears makeup for a living. How much does it hurt getting a tattoo? Don't lie.
I mean, it's funny. It's so funny because like a lot of them, like, people are like, oh, when you get your inner arm done, that's going to suck. Like up by the armpit. I was like chilling with that. My buddy, Buddy Berkeley is just covered. He's like, dude, the elbow actually sucks. I was fine with that. And then like lower arm just killed me for some reason, which everyone's usually like, it's not that bad. I feel like it's so different for different spots for all people. I don't know, but also like everyone will say like, that's totally part of it. You got to earn it, whatever you're getting. I will say I'm lucky. The dude who I tattoo with, who's done like pretty much all my stuff, has a heavy hand. So he's fast, but like he makes you work for it because he's grinding it.
Wow. Yeah. I think I'll pass.
Yeah. No, if you need a guy though, I got you. If you need a cat, we know where your allegiance stands, Mike.
Did I read this correctly? In high school, you were a football captain as a sophomore?
Yeah.
Who does that?
I had a great, wait, what'd you say, Mike? I'm sorry.
How is that possible? I mean, as a sophomore, like some kids don't even play varsity until they're a junior or a senior. You were a captain?
It was awesome. I was super, super, super blessed to play at Montini, which is an awesome high school. I have such great memories in high school. My time at Northwestern, you could take my right arm for, but Montini was truly an awesome experience. I have some great relationships, especially obviously playing football. But it was great. I mean, the thing about Montini is you were surrounded with so many guys with the same goals and same aspirations, pushing you and making you better, and being with guys like Coach Andriano and Coach Bukowski. It was just a really special place, and they pushed me. Obviously, I always had my parents pushing me, and was able to be starting both ways as a sophomore, and that just kind of followed suit. It was an unbelievable time in my life. It was so much fun.
That's incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
How would you describe the Joe Spivak hairstyle?
Oh man, it's not in peak form right now. I like to have the sides as absolutely down to as small as possible, like it bald on the side. But I mean, it's in one word.
Sexy.
That's too easy. It's really deadly. It's a powerful cut that doesn't play any games, but at the same time likes to have a lot of fun. If you want, I could get it down for you.
There it is.
I think it's really great because I like to be I like to smile at people. My dad always said, you got to smile. It's a window that lets people see what's inside. I believe in that. But like sometimes you just gotta get a little angsty and put on some mid 90s, early 2000s pop and just let it rip sometimes. So it's versatile, really, at the end of the day.
There's a very Chris Farley vibe when it's down.
Oh yeah, no, it gets the people going. We could just run it like that. And once again, it's like the tattoo, Mike. If you need a guy for a tattoo, you need a guy for a haircut, I could hook you up. Linebacker Pete McIntyre usually just buzzes the sides for me. He could get you right.
I mean, it's certainly an option.
Absolutely.
I don't know if my bosses would like it, but you and I would like it.
Absolutely. I mean, let's be honest about what really matters here, right, Mike?
You've used your personality to host a show called Wow with Joe Spivak, which I heard was a show that already had that full title before you took over, which is great. Coincidence, yeah. Your name's Joe Spivak. The premise is basically you bring on someone and they have to impress you with a skill or a talent. What was the best wow that anyone gave you?
Gosh. Had a great time doing it, first and foremost. So much fun last year. Little teaser. We might be bringing it back. We're in the works. We'll see. But, I mean, so Jake Saunders started it off, which was tough because it's tough to top Jake. I knew that going in. He downed a water bottle in less than a half of a second, which is very painful if you actually try to do it. It looks so easy. That's a very painful thing to do.
By the way, to be clear, for those who are listening, he not only downed the water bottle was gone. It wasn't just the liquid.
Yeah, everything was gone. It was incredible. And I obviously couldn't score him too high being the first one. I can't just be handing out Coach Hanks, which was the scale last year. So that is one that definitely comes to my mind. I mean, when you get a shirtless John Rain and a shirtless Peyton Ramsey last year, though, on Thanksgiving Eve out there in cold Lake Michigan, that's maybe the most memorable. But yeah, I mean, I could go down the list of them all, but those two stand out to me.
If you had to be the guest on Wow with Joe Spivak, how would you wow yourself? When
you brought this up, I don't know why I just saw that question coming, and I don't know.
fan. Yeah,
I,
I like
I
the
don't. It's tough. I mean, I feel like what wows me the most is like people really pushing themselves. Like Jake was clearly uncomfortable. So I don't know what I would do. I feel like I didn't like Jesse Brown's. I loved his, but like I don't want just a fact or a story. Like I want to like see you do something hard. I don't know. Give me a second. Let's circle back to it, can we?
We can circle back. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're a
Okay.
man of many skills and many
Yeah.
talents. Well, I'm sure
What's
you'll
coming to
find.
I mean, we've been doing camp karaoke lately, and I've been waiting for my name to be called because I really think I could wow the team. Like I said, I'll get the hair down front and just start ripping some Blink 182 or something. That's what's coming to my mind now, but yeah, let me think. We'll think about it.
I could see Blink 182 working. I feel like you should go like 80s love sonnets.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
you could crush some Patrick Swayze songs, you know, like
absolutely.
a
I mean,
or something.
really, I think I need to talk to our media team about maybe just reproducing Roadhouse, but with me in it instead of Patrick Swayze. That would ultimately be my dream. Roadhouse kicks so much butt. I love that movie.
Roadhouse is the greatest terrible movie of all time.
Oh, it's fantastic. Throat rips it left and right. It's unbelievable.
Like at some point you're going, who approved this?
Yeah,
what
no.
person at a studio is like, yes, we should make this movie. And yet because they all made it, it's this masterful piece of cinema.
Yeah, and then you see Patrick Swayze coming, you're like, oh, all right, that's right. That's why I got the okay. This guy's electric.
How many times have you been put in on offense in a goal line situation?
I want to say, I mean, high school we'd run it back up Montini. The boys love the goal line package on Montini. We were doing that in the middle of the field. But I think last year, I want to say maybe around like half of our games, maybe a little more. I know it wasn't all of them last year, but pretty much it was all goal line stuff. I know in Iowa we were in a more of like a 4-minute situation, and we were running the ball more. So I did a little bit there, but yeah, I think it was about half of our games, if not a little more last year.
Now, here's my follow-up. How many times have you been given the ball in a goal line?
I mean, 0, which maybe we need to change. Mike, I think you're higher up than I am. You need to give Fitz a call or Coach Bajakian a call and be like, hey, we want it too. 0 so far, but we'll see. You know, like I said, I forgot who I was talking to the other day, but I was telling you, I'm knocking on Bajakian's door, working on my hands. So we'll see. But I mean, you know, as we talked about before, I love the inside blocking too.
So let's say final home game this year, Fitz comes up to you and says, if we've got a goal line situation, you're getting the ball. Do you say, I want to run it? Or do you say, Daddy wants to catch it?
I say, here's the deal, Fitz. That's unacceptable. I want an 80-yard bomb. I'll run a post route. Let it freaking sail. That's how we're doing the thing. Everyone's expecting, you know, something quick at the goal line, a quick sneak or something like that. No one's expecting me in a slot going wide.
Right. Now, Halitsky would have to get some air under it if you're going to run 80 yards.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if the hair is down, I'm going to be moving. Don't you worry about that. The hair down to my face, pushed into my shut. I'll be moving. But, yeah, it'll be ridiculous.
You are, I'm sure, one day going to be a great father. I have my oldest is a 5-year-old boy. Now he's just started to get into that schoolyard where he learns stuff. And he says to me the other day, something that I think you'd like to give a rebuttal to.
Absolutely.
He told me purple is a girl's color.
What's his name? What's the kid's name?
Cameron.
Little Cameron. All right, Cam. No, I mean, we call a spade a spade. That's a stupid thing to say, Cameron. I mean, that's, you know, I think people, like, if you want to call pink a girl's color, okay, that's pretty strong argument. But like, you don't see any Big Ten championship teams with pink. You see some Big Ten championship teams rocking the purple, and you got one this year. So it's like, you know what? Purple is a dynamic color. It can do it all. You can dress it up. You can dress it down. And I mean, it's kicking some tail on the football field too. So why don't you bring Cameron out to one of our home games and you show him what it's all about, okay?
I'm pretty sure the second he meets you, he's going to never say that again.
All right, good.
Have you thought about what your next step, whenever your playing days are done, what you want to do next?
Yeah, I've given it a good amount of thought. This last year has been great. I did a red shirt, so I was supposed to be done last year. And getting this extra year gave me a little more time, to talk to people, network with people. Obviously, like you said, same dream as anyone in this league. I want to play ball as long as I can, pursue that NFL dream with everything I got. But obviously, the time will take down, and when it does, I really, really am dead serious about pursuing opportunities in the WWE and entertaining as a wrestler and entertaining as a personality on air, whether it be for them or wherever. But I've been fortunate enough to connect with some people there, and I think it'd really be great. I think you combine a lot of things that I love: the competition, the speaking, the athleticism. It's just so much fun stuff, while also giving me a platform to just connect with people, which is what I really want.
So the Miz, right?
Obviously, yes.
I'm not buddies with him, but he was on The Real World like 15, 18 years ago, whatever it was.
Okay.
And he was on with a cast of 7 people, and one of those 7 people was a good friend of mine from college.
Okay, cool.
A woman that I was in study groups with, and we hung out all the time. Now, she and I haven't stayed in touch very well.
Sure.
He went, and he was just very public about, like, I want to do this. I'm going to become a wrestler. And he found his way into doing it. I don't understand how. Like, literally, what are the steps you have to take, or the steps he took, so that you can do that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the Miz is the pinnacle. He's where I want to be. That's a guy who actually knows how to do. But all I'm trying to do is basically, I know that the better I do this year, the longer I can play in the league, the more I can do with football, building that brand. That's only going to get better. And, the training that goes into that, the preparation, the body work that goes into that, that's step one for me. And once again, the Miz is another story. He's done it. This is what I think is the best for me to do. And it's taking care of business here first and foremost. And then also just connecting with people. I'm lucky to be at Northwestern, which has ties everywhere. I've talked to people in the WWE that are, these are things you can do. These are drills you should be working on, basically. And, public speaking drills, if you will say, little things, but I think obviously first and foremost for me is taking care of business, this dream I have right now that I'm living, and, this next step of that, which is the league. But obviously I'm a believer, like the Miz is, of speaking things into existence. I'm all for that.
I'm trying to think of the name you would go with. Like, has Ace just as a one name, like a Madonna?
We've thought about it. So me and y'all's lovely intern from last year, Jake Saunders, D tackle here last year, actually just produced a little video, which I was called the Juice Box, because we always talk about, if you're juiceless, you're useless. That's something our strength coaches always say. So I was doing some stuff in the summer as the Juice Box, which was pretty fun. I could give you a little insider info on that, send you some clips. You'll be definitely proud of Jake's production and stuff. But that's the one we've been playing with. But at the same time, whatever they want me to be, I'll be.
I got to tell you, that's awesome. The Juice
Box.
Great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pick up a Capri Sun sponsorship, start tossing out Juice Box. It'd be electric.
It's a done deal, man.
It's a done deal. Come on.
Oh, that's great. The Juice Box. I could easily, what kid wouldn't want to support the Juice Box?
Are you kidding me? I could see the Kool-Aid commercial. He comes coming through, and I burst through. Oh, yeah. It's unbelievable.
You and I have a special bond that I haven't told you about yet.
Fantastic.
And it's probably the first thing I read about you that made me realize this is a man for me.
Let's go.
Honeycrisp apples.
Absolutely. Shout out. I mean, they're fantastic. You want to talk about wow. Last year, that's where my love for Honeycrisp really came out, because Gunnar Vogel came on and cracked an apple in his hands, and it was great, but he didn't get that great of a score because it was a little baby apple. You get a Honeycrisp, that thing's a freaking honker. You know what I'm saying? That is an unbelievable piece of fruit. You could dress it up, like I said. You could dress it up, you could dress it down. Put some peanut butter on it. It's refreshing. It's crisp. I'm there. I'm there for it.
I've gone to the chunky peanut butter. Honestly.
Sure.
It's straight. Did you know, by the way, it has a Big Ten? I don't know the exact details, but it was like created at the University of Minnesota. It's a Big Ten creation.
That's good. It's a Big Ten creation. That bothers me a little bit, but that's cool. I'm a big fan of. We got. I know a lot of athletes will know. A lot of snack bars have them. Fuel bars have them. The RX bars, they have they're basically just any peanut butter granola bar, side by side, bite for bite. with a Honeycrisp, that's a big go-to for me.
I like it.
Absolutely.
Like that you were happy and furious at the same
Yeah,
time.
no, I will eat Honeycrisp a little bit differently now, but I'll still eat them, obviously.
You strike me as a man who appreciates Ted Lasso. Is that accurate?
And it could not be any more accurate. I'll be honest, I am a couple episodes behind just because of camp. I was out of town for a weekend right before camp. But I am all about it. Me and the boys watch it every week at some of the fellas' house, all about it.
It is such a joyful, I don't even know. It came at a time we all needed something that was positive.
Fantastic. I heard everybody talking. We're like, I don't know. And I watched the first episode. I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And the second season just came out. And like I said, I'm a couple behind. But literally, I'm 15 minutes into the first episode a week or so ago, and I'm crying. I'm like, what is going on? This show is perfect. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, it's well done. I got to meet Sudeikis once.
Really? Like, cool.
A decade ago, we were at Second City in Chicago and did an improv set, and he was just a beast. I mean,
were you guys like in the same troupe together there? Or?
No, so we were both doing guest spot after the show. So if you know people there, you can do the improv set at the end of the show. And he obviously used to work there. And so we both came in. And the funny thing was, like, he started this one scene, and normally you do like a 5-minute scene and somebody edits, and you do another 5-minute scene and somebody edits. You do like 4 or 5 scenes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody wanted to edit him.
Yeah.
So he just did
let
like
him run.
a 3-minute scene, just carrying the whole show.
That is electric.
Awesome.
That's unbelievable.
All right, you've been awesome. So I'm gonna let you run, but before you go,
absolutely.
Before you go, 4 questions unrelated to anything.
Go.
Number 1, at Northwestern, you can only pick one. Who was your mentor?
Tyler Lancaster. Easy. Tyler Lancaster, Green Bay Packers, my big brother when I came in. Absolute best, one of the best leaders and best men I've ever been around in my life.
Give me an example of something you learned from him or experience you had with him.
Lanny is the pinnacle of, in my mind, what it means to be a true, you got to edit this out, a true badass, a true hardcore dude, a true football player. Lanny on the field is a force to be reckoned with. He's angry, he's strong, and he absolutely imposes his will. But then when he comes off the field, he's probably the nicest person you'll ever meet in his life. I don't think people understand how special that is to be someone that is so lovable and smiles so greatly, and then to be able to flip that switch and go out and do what he does out there. I aspire to be like him. He's a true football player. I think that's the best way to say it.
Number 2, who is your celebrity lookalike?
Oh man, I mean, I don't know. You tell me. I get like the Chris Farley all the time. That's too easy, but I feel like that's more personality than anything. I really like body wise. Me and like Cristiano Ronaldo are basically identical. So I think we could just leave it at that. Like really when it comes down to the build and the figure, it doesn't get closer than that.
Yeah, I was thinking honestly more than just the body. I was thinking the face too.
Yeah, but he wishes a little bit. I think my jawline is a bit more cut. But yeah, pretty much I think that's the best we get.
I've heard that Ronaldo, Beckham, like a lot of these soccer superstars have pictures up of you on their like dream board.
All the time.
That's their goal is basically.
Yeah, that's where when we do our media day and take our pictures and stuff, they send them straight to the Euro soccer leagues. Like this is the goal.
I get it.
Everyone's try. I get it. It's not gonna happen.
Number 3, what was your best subject in high school?
Jeez, best subject in high school. Probably like best. I was pretty good. I was good at English. I was really good at like reading and writing. I love to write. I still do. Also like that's where, in high school you do like your presentations and stuff. And as everyone knows from this podcast, I talk way too much, so I could use that. Got a shout out though. I'm not a big math guy, but in high school I was, because of one of the best teachers I ever had, Mr. Samide. Everything we talked about, like that positive attitude, smiling, letting people know what's inside. Ace, that guy brought that and that enthusiasm into a math classroom. And as a guy who never loved math, like he absolutely changed how I looked at math and just pretty much everything. He was an unbelievable guy.
Number 4, Lasso doesn't count because it's a TV show.
Deal.
Last time you cried at a movie.
Last time I cried. Oh. Last time I cried at a movie. Lasso doesn't count as a TV show. So like, I was on the verge of tears from fear watching this movie the other day, Annihilation, sci-fi movie. I've never been more stressed out in my life. Like, this movie absolutely rattled me. It was unbelievable. Either that was like the most recent. Like, I don't think I cried, but like I could have, because I was like, I've never been so anxious watching a movie, Mike, while being so locked in. It was unbelievable. If you haven't seen it, it's unbelievable. That, or pretty much like anytime I watch Silver Linings Playbook, that movie, it's got football in it. It's just so good. Bradley Cooper, Jay Lau. I mean, great movie. That one gets me every time.
Joe Spivak, you have been an absolute delight to talk to. It has been so cool to see what you've been able to do in your time in Evanston. And I got to say, I'm going to be thrilled personally when A, you get that 80-yard bomb from
absolutely
play calling, and B, when you fill that right arm with my face.
It's coming. You better believe I'll get it after the 80-yard bomb. That's the stipulation. Awesome. Appreciate you, man. Seriously. Thank you.
So to recap, Cristiano Ronaldo is jealous of Joe's body. Joe's hoping for an 80-yard bomb this season, and if you see him on the streets, go ahead and call him Juice Box. My thanks to Joe Spivak for joining me. Heads up, our pal Alex Rue always has great stuff on his Take 10 podcast. Be sure to check that out. But that'll do it for this episode. From the Big Ten Network in Chicago, I'm Mike Hall. We'll see you next week.